Hello traders, this is Alex with the COTlive.com website. We're going to do a review using um, the master chart calculator here. I'll show you some examples. Again, I sell these. You can make them yourself. It's just an Excel spreadsheet. A little more complex than the normal spreadsheet, but again, if you're proficient in it, it's just common steps to create a program. So we're going to review the master chart, and then I'm going to do another video after this on the Excel square calculator and the exact same markets that we're going to review. So the markets that we're going to review today are copper, soybeans, and then we're going to do a few stocks, which is Newmont Corporation, NEM, and of course IBM. We'll do those four both in this video and the next video. Okay, first what you do on the master chart calculator, of course, you bring the program up, and then I went ahead and cheated a little bit and got all the swings. Now what I'm doing, I'm not taking all the swings just for this video. What I'm going to do is take just the major last three, just to simplify it a little bit. Of course, that will be in beans, we're taking this low right here. We're going to take this all-time high. Now, this isn't the all-time low, but it's definitely a segregated low that is important. And then we're going to take, so that low, this high, and this low. Now, I also put in one here, and we're going to edit that a little bit because it's awfully quick. 2022 didn't make a new all-time high. Obviously still important on the scape of things. So, and I will review those. And that's how I kind of came up with the dates. And I went ahead and, here's the search history. I went through and put them all in. Okay, first thing you do though is you reset the research folder and the advanced folder. That's these two red buttons here. Now this begin advanced search, don't click that until the end. And it does take a while, and I will pause this. It'll take a few minutes to load all the data so we can, and then review them a little bit. Okay, let's first go to the soybeans, and let me sort these here real quick. So I want to go to the oldest. Again, this is just a spreadsheet. I wouldn't recommend manipulating the actual program, but you can save it. You can see I have folders here that I've saved, and I'll leave these in here. And these are some of the older ones that I previously did videos on and my own personal stuff. So anyway, let's go to this first one. And again, you can type them in, look at the chart. I'm doing this to speed it up. And again, I'm not going to concentrate on pricing on this one, on this video. That's for another video. I'm going to mainly focus on the dates, right? So you input that, and of course you can go to the actual pricing, right? Put 402 in the center cell. Now you can put 0 in there or 1, right? That creates odd squares, even squares on this side. That's what makes the master chart and the square of 9 so important, because it actually divides it into the square of 9. And then also, though, you can do pricing, right? Here's the center cell we're going to study, odd squares, even squares, and then all the subsequent angles that are associated with that. So you can also do squaring of actual price, and this will double, right? It's a kind of a doubler. You can also do input pricing down and save those to your data as well. We're not going to do those. We're going to focus just on the regular master chart program stuff that people are used to. So anyway, you plug that in and then you just save the date, right? So simple as that. Now once you get it set up, and then let's go to the next one. Oops, how come I got two in there? Hang with me. Okay, the reason why we have two is because I just uploaded the next one, so these will show up as duplicates. That's fine. You can go, again, this is just this search history. I kind of keep it. Now I'll delete this. Whoever buys one, I do clear it out so you don't have all my crap in there. But again, this is just a kind of a cheat sheet, so you can go back and look, see if you typed in something wrong. So every click that you do is saved. And this is the all-time high back in 2012. And then 2019 lows, 780.5. Simple as that. I mean, it's accurate and it's simple. And, I have confidence in the accuracy of it because I've created it, of course, and I went back and double, triple, quadruple checked. I wanted to make sure that it was accurate. And this is the last high that we just had in 2022. Again, wasn't a new all-time high, and I'll show you what I'm going to do there to edit that a little bit. All right, and when you click the Save Data to Research, then you go to the Research folder, and you can see this was the last one we entered, and these are the other ones. I guess you can't. They're not in the window. You can see those are the 4 inputs that we did. Now see for this one, and again, these are just data. It's you can kind of alter them. Since it's such a fast one, right? It just happened last year. I'm going to go ahead and delete all of them. And you can see, again, because it's too much data. So I'm going to go ahead and delete everything but the 180 and the 360. And this is just my preference because, again, it's so quick a data. And I've done it so much, I just know. And again, the more data you have, the longer it takes to sort through it all. It almost a data overload if you get these ones that are so quick. And you can see that as you go out into the revolutions, right, of the master chart, as you go out in time, they get further apart. Again, these are quick, right? So again, I don't. Those are pretty inaccurate in my opinion. They have relevance, but not for what I'm trying to do. So again, we did that, and these will leave as they are, and the data will be okay. So we got that done, right? Now we know that those are what we want, and then you hit the begin advanced sort. Now this will take some time. I'm going to pause it here and wait for this to finish. I'll be right back. Okay, it took about 1.5 minutes, and we're going to now, once you click that and it went through its process, now you click this, and it'll break it down into these categories. Now, before you do that, I guess I should have done this first. I usually like to keep 1 year of research and then the next year, current year, and then another year out. So it'll only do 3 years just because of time and resources of the computer. I just, and then I copy this over here, paste special. Now you can type it in as well, but again, you can see that this is the same as this. It's just a nice category heading that I can watch. Now these are all the dates sorted in the beans, and this is everything that we'd want. Now one other thing I want to do is these are the samples that I've already done. We're going to make a new one. Um, let's frickin' phone. Let's just make a. We're going to make a copy of this sample folder as just as a sample, and we're going to put. We'll just type in soybeans since I have a bean folder ready. Now that this other folder of soybeans here that I already have in place, that has all the swings, so there'll be a lot of data, and it won't take a minute and a half, probably take 4 minutes to run the program. But anyway, you can see I created this folder. Now the reason why I'm doing that is I want to go through and save all the data. So if I ever, a year and a half down the road want to add to it, I don't have to go and do all this again. But I'm going to take, I'm going to copy this. These are the 4 swings that I did. And I'm just going to put it in here. And then I'm going to go to the research, and I'm going to copy all this data here. And you can see it goes way in the heck out in the future. So, as long as the parameters don't change, you really don't need to do all that again. All right, so that's all that saved. And again, these are just text, right? So there's no formulas or anything you need to worry about. And so that's doing this for my own purpose down the road. Little hints and tricks that I've learned over the years. And you could do the prices as well. Now again, I'm not a price guy, I'm more of a time trader. So that's up to you. And you can go through and save the pricing as well if you're into that. So anyway, that's the main thing. And then we're going to save this advanced as well in there. So I have all this data saved. So if you happen to delete it, you can manipulate it, print it however you want. Let's go down, and I'll just plug it in down here. So these are all the data points that are important to me, and just for saving it for practical purposes. All right, so that's how you do it. And then you go through then, and these are the dates that will be in the future coming up this quarter. And we'll go back and review a few of these. Let's type in let me pull up a July bean 2024 contract. Just to kind of, we'll go through and just see how it did, right? Because you never know, sometimes it sucks, right? Why even use it? But we know these are the square NEM off of those important dates. So to me, that's pretty important. And again, this is the July 24 contract. So that'll expire in the middle of July of this coming year, 2024. And let's just review how it did. I'll put now. Let's put in a something. Let's put in an X. Let's see what I got in here that I've already saved. Yeah, let's just put in an X. maybe. There we go. All right, the first date is January 4th, 2003. And you can see it missed that high by 1 day. And then January 12th. I'm going to pause this real quick while I plug all these in. Hang on. Okay, I plotted all those. It takes a little time. Try to be somewhat accurate. Again, this is just an example, right, on just a few data points, but this is where it kind of landed. And again, the more data you have, then you want to look for individuals are less important, but you want to get the accumulations, right? Even though you can see we had some accumulations here. Looks like it did pretty well. It did miss this low by a few days, which has been a little disappointing. Again, when the market changes trends, you like to see, once you get that acceleration phase, especially in the summer months and the grains, right? You kind of watch these dates, and then if it starts making lower lows, you take that into consideration. But, you know, again, Gann used to use a 2-day trendline indicator. Again, on my stuff that I sell, I do sell some online lessons. The first one's free, and that is the 2-day trendline indicator that Gann used to use. Gann would never, you know, if he had some date or whatever, he never just took it as it's going to be a low or going to be a high. He waited for the trend to change and confirm that. Long term, right? 2-day trendline indicator is a little slow, especially in this day and age. And again, you can change that however you like. But you can see that it did pretty well, missed kind of this high. It did kind of pick this secondary event. Got this secondary event. And this is the current. Today's January 3rd. This is and it's about 3:30 in the morning, Central Time. So you can see that this gap down's a little ugly, right? So, you know, that's why I didn't mark it as a low, in my opinion. You got to assume that it's going to be some type of acceleration event, because we're in the midst of, you know, violating some important areas. You know, the predators are waiting down here more than likely to run the stops, or maybe even down here, right? So the big predators are waiting to run stops all the way through the market. Again, we had a bull trap, took it out, so on and so forth. All right, now I'm going to set up the other one, and I won't go through the process, but I'll do the copper and then pause it and start it, and then I'll do IBM and then NEM mining. So hang with me 1 second while I set that up. One thing before I start, I like to, and Gann used to always talk about using multiplications of 10, 100, 1,000. Again, they're all equal in the mathematics world. So even though copper's not trading at 193.65, it's trading at $1.93 per pound, right? So I always try to find 3 or 4 digits and use the zeros accordingly. You know, run your decimals over, because again, you can't really, you know. But again, that's for pricing. The dates don't matter, but just so you know, that's where the pricing. That's why it's not quite what you see on a chart. But again, I moved the decimals over for my own personal thing. Again, that ain't important in this deal, so hang with me while I update all these. Okay, I updated the copper. I put it on a March chart, and I sorted it and everything already, just to kind of speed the process up. And you can see copper did pretty well. I don't trade copper much, but again, that's what's nice. You can kind of do stuff that you don't do, as an example, to see how it works, right? It should work on everything. You know, some are a little different between the stock indexes and bonds and whatever. So, and you can see here's the ones. We had a few duplicates for that 3 data points. That's pretty interesting. We had another double here, a double here. So again, it worked pretty well. I kind of missed this high. Definitely picked the lows. And again, when it falls on the weekend, again, because these are, you can see the, there's Saturdays, Sundays involved. I always tend move to the swing. So for the example, now when you're real-time trading it, that's probably not what you do. And again, this is no filter here, right? No trend lines, no which way the trend is, no pattern recognition. This is just pointing out the data. So good option possibilities and all this. All right, that's the copper. Now let's, I'll plug IBM in next, I believe, or NEM, and then I'll get back to you. Hang on. I also saved again a new folder. I created it, just copied the samples page, and I saved all the data for the copper in this folder. And again, you can pause it if you want, and you can take a look at it. And that's 2020, and there's 2016 low there. Again, you can take the raw data itself, right here, right? And you can just copy paste this. Again, this is just text right now, so or you have to copy and paste if you copy it, you got to paste special and paste it as values. So that's why I like to copy it into this. Then you can take this format and put it in your newsletter or your research document, whatever you're doing, right? So this is the actual text. This inputs here have formulas, right? So I wouldn't recommend, if you know what you're doing. If not, copy the actual from the research part right here, right? These are text. So anyway, because I clear these out, right? I'm clearing them out when I do this next one. All right, be right back. Yeah, again, we reset everything, and then go on to our next one, which will be IBM, and we're doing the same thing. Save data to research. We go in. Again, I have these already pre-saved, so it's easier. And that's what I got, this little thing here. These are my cheat sheets as well to quickly input everything. Try to keep it the same color format and all that, right? IBM input. Again, you don't have to do that. You can type it in if you want. And it does save it then to this search history, right? So I copy those and put those in my save folders as well. All right, I'll run these and be right back. One other thing, so we did all that. Now we click the begin advanced sort. Again, it takes some time. So you can see it's grinding away. I'll be right back. All right, that is stopped. Then you click the sort data. Again, these shouldn't change, or but you haven't done it for a year. Then you want to make sure you change these years accordingly. 1 year have passed to research it, and a few out, and this one modulates it, and then it's going to sort those out by years. Now I'll plug this into the chart. Be right back. Okay, I plugged the data in just from October, just to get a feel of how it did, and you can see kind of pick that swing. We had a double one down here on October 23rd, and then we had a gap up, right? Could be positive, could be negative, but more than likely positive. And so again, I put the little dot. I went from a dot to that X because the X was too big, couldn't see the date. So these are accurate. You can see when the trend is up, another gap up, and again, where would you put your stop, right? Let's say you did buy it. Well, you definitely probably put it maybe under this low since you had the timing. Again, I'm not trying to advocate any trades or anything like that, but um, you definitely can understand when the trend is up, especially when it breaks a longer term trend and it is accelerating. That's always key. As we got lofty levels, again, I don't know, I don't believe that's new all-time highs. Maybe it is. Let me look. I can't remember. No. The highs were back in 2009 up to 215. This is a monthly chart. So you can see that we're getting up to a fairly lofty level at quite a bit of time. July, August, September, October, November, December. So that's 7 months. And we had a bear trap down here. So I would assume some type of trap. Again, we kind of got a head and shoulders possibility. You can see it missed the high, but it did pick this weird swing. And then it hit this other swing, caught this. And then actually yesterday, January 2nd, it kind of broke. Again, potential head and shoulders. Don't know that yet. Always when in doubt, you wait. And here's the next one out into the 9th right here. You can see the 9th. So these are the next coming dates into the future. There's 2025, just based on those swings, right? So these are 2020, a high of 90.56, or low, excuse me, and then the high of 2013, and the low of 1993. Now that's, again, the further back you go, the less pollution of too many dates, right? Because again, we're only taking 3 swings, 3 major points, but 1993, right? So again, sometimes you can't. And if you get too quick, right, you can take out the 45s, you just delete them, right? Before you do the advanced sort, you know, in this folder right here, this research, you can manipulate this. Let's say you didn't want too many dates, you take out something that's too current. You can see that it's fairly quick, right? So that's only a day in between. Well, it's 2023. Yeah, I mean, that's only 2 weeks. You know, the 120 degree, it's kind of one of those that you might be able to take out, you know, all the 120, 240. Again, if, you know, let's say the high was made last year, right? I mean, it's just going to have too much data, so you weed it down by taking only the important ones, maybe. Again, that's up to you. Sometimes you like more data to get duplicates, you know, where you get accumulation of dates. That's kind of my thing. But you can see that the actual chart had a lot less in this one than some of the others when you have so many dates. Anyway, now I'll do the next one, which will be Newmont, and I'll plug in the data, I'll pause and stop and go so you don't have to waste your time. So hang on with me while I set up the Newmont. Again, once we're in here, we're going to about ready to do a new one. You got to reset the folder, reset the advance. And since, again, we kind of got my cheat sheet set up, you just copy, paste the data that you're wanting to study. Well, we'll give you a real example. This Newmont mining I'm plugging in, we've had an all-time high back in 2022 of 86.37. So, again, as an example, you can see that some of these dates in 2023 were only 4 or 5 days apart. I'm only gonna take the I'm gonna just take the 180s, so I'm gonna delete all this data. And if you really want to speed things up, you can delete, again, we're 2050. I mean, I'll be dead before that comes up. So you can take those out as well. Again, you can play with it a little bit. Again, it doesn't take but a button click to change it back. So again, this was back in 2015. Again, I'm going to go ahead and take care of all this data here. Maybe even go into the next one and just take all that out so it's a little quicker to do the advanced sort. Okay. Then again, once I have that, I'll go back in and got it all done, and we click the begin advanced sort, and I'll be right back with you when it's complete. Okay, it's done. And then now we click it. Now again, if you ever wanted to do just pure research on the previous history, you can change these dates, right? As long as your current date you're inputting, you want it, but let's say you want to look 10 years ago, see what it did, 1990s to 2000, right? And you plug in some swings or high points, low points, and you can see, just to see how it did. Again, you can plug that in here so you're not sorting current, but then you just click and it'll spit out the current, and then I'll plug this in and be right back with you. Okay, you got the Newmont chart plotted. Again, since we deleted a lot of the minor swings from the database, you can see it really cleared up the chart. Maybe that's good, maybe it's bad, right? I mean, if it doesn't look right, put it back in. I don't want to do that right now. But again, just the importance of when you're following this, we'll just start back when I started back 1st of October again. Important swing, right? Had double whammy, two dates there. October 13th, Friday. So again, important trend change. If it ever knocked it out, we did knock it out here, and it did break. We got back to it twice, right? Kind of back. Here was the close of that day. So you can see we never even got back to the close. So pretty key data point. Again, I'm just reading through the lines here real quick. And here's a gap, right? And then down, and then potential bear trap, which I like. If you're a bull, right? Fundamentally or logically or whatever. Now that doesn't matter, right? That doesn't make you too much money. And you can see I put 2 dots here, one on each side, because again, at the time, you wouldn't have known that that was a low, right? So, but if you're following the trend, you maybe put a buy stop back in over this high, or this is where you'd buy calls against your short positions, that kind of thing. And then it was a low, was a bear trap, and probably confirmed with this gap, since it, once it never followed back down. We had another double zone here. It came back to it, took it out by a little bit. Again, this line through here is the 1 by 1 coming off of the all-time low, by the way. So you can see awfully good, important trend average, right? A 1 by 1 coming up, 1 cent per day. No, that's a long time, but anyway, you can see that we made the high. Kind of looked like a high again. We had a kind of a trap here as well, and then the market broke, and then you didn't know for sure, right? But once you made lower lows, that confirmed that that was probably a swing. And then it made some wild aggressive smash, and then a wild aggressive pop. Must have been a report. A gap up. You can see it kind of hit this swing. Missed the high here. Here's today's trade, the 2nd of January, 2024. And it had an outside down day. So a little ugly, right? Went up, filled the gap. And we also have one tomorrow. So kind of important. The trend is up. Probably until we knock this out, right, based on these data points. So pretty interesting. Again, if you don't like the data, you might have to plug more in. Again, we took a lot of it out when we took out that last swing. So we're basically only having 2 swings in there. anyway, that's going to be the NEM. Again, this is the process on the master chart, and pretty simple, right? That's what's nice about this. We know it's accurate. You know, the revolutions that go around in a circle of time, you know, these are the odd squares, these are the even squares, and these are the mathematical increments in between. And as further as it goes out, the more important it becomes. Of course, then you add in your master chart time frames, pricing becomes pretty important. You can see also the same way in price, right? Same, you know, this has price in the middle, keeps spinning out into the future, and then you have your. Yeah, I don't want to get too complex into it. I do sell the master chart program on there. I think that's lesson number 10 on the online lessons that you can buy as well. But that's the master chart. Pretty simple, but if you're interested in buying it, you can right here. I think you can scan it. I haven't tested these in a while. I think they still work. And I'll do another video here next. I don't know if I'll do it to this morning or not, but I got to get some other work done. But this is the Excel square calculator that I'll be doing next, and this is the online lesson. There is the free lesson that you can review. So, and also have some other stuff here that you can look at, plus all the other free stuff that comes with the Gann. Again, this is the master chart that I was just talking about. Again, it has this kind of a quick little review. I'll probably add the link to this video that we're doing now up here. Since it has two stocks, two commodities, kind of gives you a good broad view. You know, all the crypto stuff now that's out there. Some of it doesn't have enough data. Bitcoin probably does. But again, it's such a fast mover that time is more important than price when you get stuff really flying around. Because again, yeah, you know, I moves freaking 400% in a year or 3 months. So, you know, in some of these cryptos, so it's hard to use price structure, but time is always relevant. Of course, square 9. And then I also have some of the old Gann stuff that I found over the years. Some other people's stuff that I liked. I just kind of linked it here. I didn't ask permission, but you know, you can review their thing. You know, we also have, I do some of the planet stuff. I like that. Gann used to follow, you know, Saturn and Mars and, you know, the war planet. And, you know, I got geocentric, heliocentric. All those are kind of key to me. You know, I've got some actual charts that I overlaid with like soybeans. All this stuff I kind of have on here, and that's free for everyone to go. And now I'm a big eclipse guy. Again, we're coming in this next year. On the next solar, we're coming on to what I call a flip. You know, this current solar eclipse that we just had and lunar eclipse sequence back in October of 2023. The solar was before the lunar. Now in this next one, the lunar is before the solar. So again, it flips. So you lose 1/4 moon on the solar, but gain a 1/4 moon on the lunar. So halfway in between is coming up between those two eclipses. So again, the next couple weeks, I'm keen on watching. Again, I'm more of a commodity guy, so again, they move around a little more. But you can see I've got this data here, and I don't want to get too deep into that. That's a whole nother deal. The last lesson in the package that I truly believe, Gann used to use the solar eclipse and measure that in time. All his big projections were based off the solar, and I just think it's tremendous. It has picked many highs and lows. The problem is picking highs and lows don't make you money. You follow the trend. That makes you money. All right, I'm going to sign off. It's been about 40 minutes here. Again, I'll try to get the next one, the weekly square calculator up as well. I don't know if I'll do it this morning, but you guys have a wonderful new year, and bless to all.